If you happen to be one of those human beings that occasionally gets hungry, or one of those people that likes good food, do I have news for you?
I'm one of those people.
Are you one of those people, Mel?
Yeah.
I'm definitely one of those people.
If you live in Denver, Portland, or Bend, you should go check out Fire on the Mountain because they have amazing wings and burgers and pizzas and garlic knots and onion rings and delicious French fries and deep fried pickle spears. And I almost said spheres. And
the coolest desserts ever, like deep fried peppermint Oreos at a few of the locations, and they brought back deep fried Nutter Butters.
I just have to say, we went to Fire on the Mountain for our company like holiday get together thing, and I tasted the deep fried mint Oreos, and I want a bucket of them to bring home. So if you're not in one of those places, don't be sad. Go to portlandwings.com. You can get all kinds of Fire on the Mountain gear over there. You can have their sauces actually in a bottle, and they'll send them right to your house.
That's a great stocking stuffer for the spicy one in your life.
That's actually true. Their soon to be famous spicy peanut sauce is pretty amazing. They got all kinds of specials at all the restaurants, so go follow them on Instagram at FOTMPDX, FOTM Denver, and FOTM Bend. Fill your belly with the Grateful Dead's family's finest foods, deliciousness, and whatnots. Fire on the Mountain. One of our favorite sponsors is back with us, Sunset Lake CBD.
Yeah.
If you're looking for CBD that actually does what CBD is supposed to do, look no further than our friends over at Sunset Lake.
Let me break it down.
Break it down, Mel.
They're sustainably farmed, meaning they avoid pesticides and use sustainable farming practices to preserve the land for future generations. 1. 2, farm to table. They ship the CBD products straight from their door in Vermont directly to your door wherever you're at.
Now that's cool.
And third party tested. They test everything with a third party to ensure quality, dosage, and safety.
You got to go over and check out sunsetlakecbd.com. They have so many products. Break it down for them, Apple.
Well, they've got some new stuff going on. Like they always had pre-rolls, but now they got really cool packaging for it. And you can get CBD pre-roll flights of all their flavors. You can get the heavy hitter flight that also throws in some of their Keef blunts. They have a new CBD recovery body lotion.
I'm excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the other?
The other one with arnica.
The extra strength muscle rub, 3,000 milligram with 5% lidocaine.
So look,
if
you're
lidocaine.
sore, this is the stuff you want to rub on your body to make those aches and pains go away. They even have CBD infused coffee, so you can have coffee without the little jitter that you get from caffeine, and you have it in the morning and you start your day off right. Your body feels lubricated. You're going to sleep good.
Yeah, and also they have, if you kind of forget to reorder, they've got subscriptions.
And they're giving the No Simple Road family 20% off.
20% off.
Put in the promo code NSR20 when you're checking out at sunsetlakecbd.com. You're going to get 20% off your entire order.
NSR20.
And don't forget those cute little gummy bears.
That's right. sunsetlakecbd.com, one of our favorite sponsors, is back.
Why can't every day be like this? No Simple Road. Yeah, no, I've been on that road too.
Road. Hey now, No Simple Road family. This is Aaron.
This is Mel.
And this is Apple.
Yay.
And here we are for another episode of No Simple Road. Your favorite podcast that you listen to every week and you tell everybody about because you love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That.
You're listening to
and where
it.
you listen to find and listen to new music.
Yep.
Such as
Lone Tree. This week we have Gabe and Patrick with us hanging out. 2 members of Lone Tree, a band of young individuals from all over the world, actually.
I mean, they've been living in South Africa. Now they're in college here. They were born in America.
Yeah, this is their second appearance on No Simple
Yes.
Road?
Yes,
it is their second.
I couldn't remember if it was second or third.
Nope, it's their second, and for good reason. They have some new music that they're putting out, and the single "Holding On" was just released on the 17th.
We're gonna give you a little taste here of "Holding On" in just a couple of minutes. But if you are so inclined, I would urge you to go follow them on the social media things and download and stream their stuff. And if they come through your town, go watch them play all the musics, because these individuals are extremely talented, and you are looking at the future happening right before you. It's like you have a time machine and you have traveled into the future to watch it from the past right now. Then, yeah, think about that.
That was heavy. I was just going to throw it out there so people know where to find them on social media.
Thank you, Apple.
They are lonetreeband.com and at lonetreeband on Instagram.
Right on.
All right. And,
they're pretty heady.
Yeah.
First of all, they've all got a good head on their shoulders.
For college age cats.
Again, it's times where we interview that younger generation, early 20s, mid 20s, and you get these types of answers, these types of responses, and their, love and passion for what they do, and like in a bigger wanting to like serve the world.
Well,
like,
and the level of understanding of the bigger picture of what it is that's happening. And the thing that really blows me away is, this is going to sound stupid, but like actually knowing what you want to do when you're young.
Yeah. No, it doesn't sound stupid at all, because that's like the $1 million answer.
Yeah, that's a huge victory.
You're like, what do you want to do
with your life?
Do.
Life. I want to rock.
Well, at the same time of like you said, college age, but also pursuing college and doing a band and all the things they're doing and being spread out throughout the globe and making things work.
Yeah, making an effort to keep them keep each other connected, and you'll find out about that process, like being all over the country and world, and still putting together music.
Yeah. So we are going to get you to that interview here in just a second, but we have some news, or I guess it's business at this point. Yeah, it's business.
Business news?
Yep. Here's the deal.
News with Aaron.
Please go over to our Patreon.
Yes.
We have been putting a lot of hard work in on Patreon, and here's the deal. You can actually join for free now. So go to our Patreon, join for free, check out what's going on in there, and if you see that this thing is something that would give value to your life, then you can consider. Then you can join up for $1 or whatever. But you can go there and join for free now and see what's going on and interact with your fellow No Simple Roadians No Simple Roadies.
Yeah. Roadies.
No Simple Road family.
I like Roadians too.
Okay.
It's both.
You can hang out with other people that are into the same shit as you over there.
There you go.
Yeah.
It kind of boils it down.
But listen to the same show.
And then, like, if you decide you want to be cool, you can give us $1 every month or more.
Or if you're already cool, you're probably doing it and you're just a rad person.
So here's the scoop. It's not for nothing. It's like, Mel is putting content up there. I'm putting content up there.
Yeah.
We have No Simple Road archivist Connor putting pics from Grateful Dead and Jerry Garcia band.
Killing it.
We have our son Andrew Sachs picking from around the jam scene the headiest, wildest, deepest, freakiest, weirdest stuff out there from all over the world. And
I'm putting stuff up there too.
Apple's doing stuff.
Yeah, I've been inconsistent, everybody, but I am doing it. I'm doing the card of the day, mixing up the tarot decks when I do. Maybe we're getting a tarot card today. Maybe we're getting an oracle deck. You never know.
You don't know.
You
won't know if you don't go over. So join for free. Patreon.com/NoSimpleRoad. Tell somebody you love about the show. Call 971-808-1524. That's the No Simple Road tepid line. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, because the algorithm is the ever-present, all-seeing eye that knows all, sees all, and recommends everything to everybody. And if you don't tell it about us, it won't tell us about us to anybody else.
To you. Yeah, that was well put, sir. Oh,
Anyway,
but it does mean a lot, and we have no December review yet.
Dang.
So
wait for it. Oh, I don't have the sound thing going, but
That's what it was gonna do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's sad. Come on, somebody throw us a Christmas bone or put a review on Apple Podcasts in our stocking for No Simple Road for Christmas. We would appreciate that.
Yeah, I would for sure.
You know, episodes like this one, we can have Billy Strings on the show. We can have Dave Schools and his Golden Messenger and OT, all that. Episodes like this one, I think, are probably my favorite because we are introducing you all to amazing, dope ass new music and musicians that are coming up and are going to be carrying all of us into the future.
Yeah.
And they're going to be wheeling the three of us into the future in our wheelchairs. So,
I've got a while before I
yeah,
get wheeled anywhere.
you'll be in your
unless
walker.
I get like taken out somehow.
So we never know.
You never know. You know.
It's with a huge amount of, it's an honor for us to be able to do this. So
Yeah, it is.
I'm super excited for all of you to know more about Lone Tree and hear where these cats are coming from. It's something definitely really special.
It was fun catching up with them too because they really made an impression on us the first time that they were on with their music, and you know, now to finally catch up, find out what they're doing and everything, and new music coming out. It's awesome. We love this band.
You know how like when you have an infant and then in just 2 years now they're walking. I feel like that's kind of how it was with Lone Tree. Like we first interviewed them and they were up and coming and just starting and all that. And then now they're in college and they're scheduling these like songs that they've written and released. And like, it's just really cool to be part of that and see that progression and see how mindful and thoughtful they are. Yeah, that's really all I got to say. They're incredible and very inspiring.
Yep. And like Apple said, make sure to check out, or Mel said, make sure to check out the new single, Holding On. It's out now on all the streaming platforms. And we're going to give you a little taste of it right now and get you to the interview. So without further ado, the No Simple Road crew gives you
Lone Tree.
Well, I'm Patrick Sanders. I'm the singer, songwriter, guitarist, producer, but more specifically guitarist and songwriter for Lone Tree.
Ooh, that's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
My name is Gabe. I guess I'm the drummer.
I guess so.
Yeah, you better be.
Gabe, do you sing also?
There's a couple tracks that I've done some background vocals on, but I think just I'll help with the creative ideas of the singing mainly. Because I don't have Tita's voice, unfortunately, but
Yes.
Not many people do.
I tried to.
Right on.
Well,
Yeah, but like, Gabe's a killer rapper though.
Okay.
So he's got some music online.
uh-oh. So, guys, the last time we talked, you were in Kenya, right?
Yeah.
So since then, a lot has changed.
Yeah.
Like a lot.
Yeah, quite a bit.
Yeah. So tell me what's going on, man. Where are you at right now?
Update us.
So I'm currently in Nashville, Tennessee. I just recently, got off my gap year, and it was Gabe's probably first year of college. So, the band had kind of been apart, I guess, geographically for like a year or so, and we'd all been in different places. And it was kind of an interesting transitional period for the band this last year. Because, just us being apart, but also us just trying to figure out what exactly we're going to do with the band. But, everything's kind of worked out. We've had a really productive last year. We've recorded a couple EPs worth of stuff. Despite being apart, we've continued to write, continued to, shoot ideas to each other continuously. We played like 10 kind of show, tour this last summer in London, which was really fun.
Wow.
But now, like, we've all like once again kind of moved around from Nairobi, Kenya, and now I'm in the States. So luckily I'm closer, to Gabe here in the States, and my sister's moving out here also probably in a year. As you know, she's the singer. And the only one of us who's going to probably be quite a ways away for now on is probably Ben, and he's in Manchester in the UK. But yeah.
When you guys decided to go to school and move and all that, were you concerned for the future of Lone Tree?
I definitely think so. I think we didn't really know totally how it was going to work. For example, I took a gap year off to kind of like, figure out some stuff with the band. I had moved out to London for a bit to try to get like a record produced. And fortunately that worked out.
Cool.
So a lot of good stuff had been happening because, though we were worried and stuff, we had all been working on our own ends to kind of like move things forward. And that's panning out. So kind of being apart is, actually working as a blessing in many ways.
Wow.
How did you manage to record while everybody was in separate locations?
That we kind of did that through a various amount of ways. Like, so for some sessions, for example, we had to have other like musicians fill in, just to get those like kind of live parts in. But we had also been writing a lot, like via calls and like, kind of just shooting ideas back and forth, like sending songs over to each other and kind of just reviewing them. I don't know, Gabe, if you want to kind of like follow up on more how
that sums it up pretty well. I mean, it was mainly through kind of just voice calls, and we would send voice memos to each other too, to just suggest ideas and say, this sounds good, or that sounds good, let's not add that. And it's definitely hard to be creative when people are in different places, but we made it work in a way, and I think taught us a lot in the process.
So that what you recorded in London, is that what you're going to be dropping what is it, like every week or every month? I can't recall. Yeah.
So what we did is we actually recorded the record with Devin Allman and some producers in Nairobi, Kenya originally. And then obviously with Gabe and Ben's shooting ideas from overseas, we had kind of done a lot of the live tracks in the studio in Nairobi. And once we kind of had the kind of 4 singles that we'd been working on, then we had moved on to London and had some producers do the final mix and master there. But yeah, that is the project that we are now like going to release a song basically every month till maybe till the end of like next year, perhaps, once we start recording again. But yeah, you
yourself can feel good about Hood. No, you can feel good because
how?
You can grab yourself Melt Premium Mushroom Chocolates.
What?
They're our sponsor, and they are going to help your mind and your soul relax.
And your attitude adjust.
Several different flavors, 4 grams of their premium mushroom blend in every bar, and they are hooking the No Simple Road family up with buy one, get one free. So head on over to @meltmushrooms on Instagram, @MELTMUSHROOMS. Shoot them a DM. Tell them No Simple Road sent you. They're going to send you their menu, and you are going to get the deal of a lifetime.
Yeah.
And you can, I almost said stuff stockings.
Yep. And Melt is growing. They are going to be adding gummies to their roster, so stay tuned for those.
And if you're one of those folks that is not a chocolate fan, they also have their mushroom capsules available. They will ship all of it directly to your door.
And they have those in macro dose and micro dose.
Ooh, macro. How fun.
Yeah, but if you don't like chocolate and, I don't know, you want to tickle your taste buds with deliciousness and melt away your cares and have a good time, this is for you.
Melt premium mushroom chocolates. Do you foresee a time when you'll all be in the same place again?
Yeah, I think that's definitely the goal.
Okay.
I think that's definitely all our ambition because, though we're separate in college, we're still trying to make things work. But, once we start really wanting to get on the road and, kind of like permanently kind of like get this going, we're going to have to do that. So yeah, that is definitely our goal.
Heck yeah, I would love to see you guys doing a U.S. tour and making it all around here and get to meet in person and hang out. And I'm curious too, how'd that come together? You worked with Devin Allman on the album.
Well, it was kind of a crazy, like a wild like chain of events, I guess, because Devin, we kind of like randomly got in touch with Devin online, like maybe 5 years ago or something at this point. And, he'd always kind of, I guess, kept an eye on us and had always been up to date with some of the stuff we'd been doing throughout the years. And, he'd always be supportive with messages online and kind of like always reach out to us every now and then. And we'd reach out to him for advice and support. But, kind of just knowing each other online, he eventually showed interest in, coming down and actually working on a record with us. And that's what ended up happening when he reached out saying, I want to come out to Nairobi. So he just came out for basically a week and focused in on a few songs and then just got that record done.
That's
wild. Very cool. That's a great person to have in your corner and as a fan.
Yeah, most definitely.
Heck yeah.
No, it was such an honor to work with, with someone of that talent, someone who comes from such a cool family, such a talented family. And, Devin's production knowledge is just, amazing too. Well, so to really have someone with that experience kind of just guide us, it's, it's incredibly valuable stuff.
That wasn't your first time working with a bigger name though, was it? That you guys worked with Dave Schools as well?
No, we'd never worked with Dave Schools.
Oh, okay.
Dave Schools had always, reached out to like we reached out to him originally, and he had always shown us support, and he still does to this day. He's always reaching out.
Okay.
So shout out to Dave Schools, but we haven't worked with him just yet.
Not yet.
But
well, hopefully one day. Definitely, hopefully one day.
I think it'll happen. What I was going to ask is, when you're like 16, 15, even up to 19, I'll say, maybe even early 20s, it's kind of hard to like figure out what you want to do with the rest of your life. And everything changes too. Maybe you have a girlfriend, you break up, or you like this kind of thing, and then you change your mind. How is music like? Has that always been steadfast, or have you been like, I don't know if I want to continue to do this? I mean, it seems like it'd be a natural thought for all of you because you're all just kind of growing up and younger and
talented.
And talented and experiencing different things, So how about that?
Mel, what should I get you for Christmas? I just don't know at this point.
You know what?
What?
How about something from Shop Tour Bus?
Shop Tour Bus.
Yes,
that's true.
It's our longest running sponsor, and I love the quality of everything that they send out.
For the Grateful Dead lover in your life, you can hook them up with something they absolutely do not already have.
That's right.
With a hoodie, a shirt, a sticker, or a hat from our friends over at Shop Tour Bus, telling Grateful Dead song titles in the picture of story of picture.
Story of picture.
Okay, there it is.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
And
okay.
You didn't mention it, but it's one of my favorites is their canvas bags.
Okay. Yeah. Put your stuff in cool bags.
And warning alert, they just posted up, actually it'll be 12 days from the day you're here, and you have 12 days to get your orders in, to get those shipped out, to get them in time for Christmas.
So you can still get your orders in time for Christmas over at Shop Tour Bus, and they're doing free shipping for the No Simple Road family. Put in the promo code No Simple Road,
all one word,
when you're checking out, and you are going to get your stuff shipped to you for free. And hey, some of you are going to get a Grateful Dead Miracle
bootleg
in your order,
yeah,
with all kinds of extras and fun stuff. So go check out shoptourbus.com or at Shop Tour Bus on Instagram. Put in the promo code No Simple Road.
I think I think it kind of came together when we were really young, and that's what we grew into. Honestly, I think it grew into the mindset of, we're working together, we're jamming together, and we fell into it rather than just making that abrupt decision.
Mm.
Yes.
And as it grew, we grew with it and we started to like it more and more. And I think that's what really set it off more than anything. And just getting into the studio and working with more and more people just kind of built that band relationship between us more.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you're growing up, like Mel said, your ideas of what you want to do and be can definitely change as you get older. And, going to school is one of those things that can either make or break how you feel about something. Some people think they want to be a, whatever, and they go to school for it and they find out that's absolutely not what they want to do. How has going to school affected your idea of what being a musician is?
Yeah, well, that's a really good question. I think, it probably differs, between all of us, but for me personally, it's kind of also, I had taken a gap year like after high school, and it gave me a lot of time to kind of think about what I wanted to do. So I feel like in a way, I almost had that year to kind of process things, kind of take a lot of my goals into account and reflect on them. And luckily when I kind of jumped into college, I kind of had a better picture maybe, or a clearer picture than maybe some would have when just going straight in from high school.
Yeah.
But I think, it's being a musician in college and being a musician who wants to who truly wants to be like an artist, and I truly know that I want to do this. I think it's an interesting experience because though a lot of doubt definitely comes, I feel like I'm lucky enough to have that vision of what I want to do. And if I kind of already I have a picture of what I want the end goal of this to kind of be in a way or something.
That makes sense.
But, and I think it's different in different like creative or musical aspects in my life. I have goals for Lone Tree, and Gabe probably has goals for Lone Tree too. And then I have goals for my own production and all. But it's just I'm just trying to ride the wave. So knowledge is changing things, but I'm just going with it.
What about for you, Gabe?
I think being a musician in general is not something that's very easy, depending on how far you want to go. I think it's something where you have to put your all into it in many ways, or just put nothing into it. It's not really something that can be fun at times, but when those moments do come up, or those sparks of creativity, it makes it seem like this is the only thing I really want to do. And I think those are the moments where you have to keep that motivation and dedication up,
Yeah.
Wow.
We knew this when we first talked to you, but you all are so mature, not even for your age, just mature in how you think about things, because you're right, Gabe. It is, being a musician has a lot of things that aren't fun. It's a lot of solo practicing so you can get your own, chops going. And then a lot of, you haven't necessarily done lots of touring yet, but like that touring can be very grueling and rigorous. And you're on the stage for, an hour to 2 hours, maybe tops. And so you really do have to find what you love about it and that creative aspect in order to you want to continue that. Cause it can be like looking through rose colored glasses, and then you start hitting the road, and then you're like, wait a minute. And it's really cool that you're both right now in amazing colleges doing this, because, you're underscoring your talent right now with a really good education.
We appreciate
that's a really good way to put it. Yeah, definitely. And at the end of the day, it's like, I think for a lot of us, it's just about balancing both too, because we kind of do want to achieve, as much as we can in both aspects. Right. But it's always tricky when you're trying to like pursue a career and also go to school at the same time.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And what you said, Patrick, too, is sometimes it takes people their entire lives and they don't get to that point of learning to go with the flow and not fighting the current. Some people spend their entire lives fighting the current, trying to control things.
Yep.
And that'll get you very frustrated.
Well, yeah, I think that being in school too would help to teach that. I mean, you can try and fight your way through, or you can go with the flow.
Yeah,
it's part of the deal. And for you guys, the situation's a little different because, you know, I think about like a kid that lives in California that turns 18 or whatever, graduates high school, and then goes to school in New York City. Like his parents are across the country. It's far away, but it's not that big of a deal for you guys. This is a big move. Like
Huge.
Coming to the States, you're a long way from home right now. Was it scary and difficult for you?
I think it definitely was. It was, you know, being continents away is kind of an interesting thing in itself. And I think when I first moved out, I didn't really feel that that kind of almost that nervousness initially.
Mm-hmm.
But then, you know, like maybe my first month in college, I was definitely like, I'm like, wow, this is completely different. It's not only like a big culture shock, even though I'm American, I still felt like a big culture shock, I would say.
Sure.
And just, you know, by the location of everything. And so, yeah, I would say it was definitely a big surprise, but, you know, I'm used to it now. So I'm doing it.
What about for you, Gabe?
I would say, yeah, it's definitely a shock because the States and Africa are two very different places, with very different types of communities and people. So, I mean, the music scene in the States, there's definitely experimental people and whatnot, but even that for, you know, Kenya, it was very Afrobeats based, and the influence of a lot of different things would just be different, you know?
Yeah.
So, I can still see that it was a blessing to get the best of both worlds out at the same time.
Wow.
Yeah, it's going to infuse everything you do for the rest of your life. Having this opportunity is going to change the way you see the world, and then in turn, it's going to change the way the art that you make comes out of you because of the experiences that you're having. And that's a blessing. That's a gift. And I'm just curious, what are some of the like cultural differences, some of the weird things that we wouldn't think of that you guys have experienced between living here and living there?
Gabe, would you want to go first on this? I might have to think about this.
Sure. I'll say, I guess there's a different environment in the music industries mainly.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot more open and friendly in Kenya, you know, in many ways, and it's very tight-knit and strict in the States, which I think can help you, I guess, if you're already really deep into the industry, but you kind of have to crack a seal, you know, like how you're popping a soda open or something. You have to crack it open to really get in the States. But in Kenya, it's a very smooth process of doing it. That, and I'll also say that Kenya is very naturey, you know. There's a lot of forest and a lot of nature everywhere you go that surrounds you, which is really nice.
Okay.
Yeah,
Great.
definitely one of my favorite parts about Kenya is definitely the nature, 100%. I would say something, this is a little different than what Gabe was saying, but I guess along the same lines. I don't know. I feel like there's maybe this is a generalization, but I feel like in some parts of Kenya compared to some parts of the US, there's just more sense of community in a way.
Yeah.
I don't know. It might be just because Kenya feels more at home to me.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It just feels like in parts of Kenya, people are looking out for each other a little more at times, you know. And I think that's a beautiful thing. Like that, you know, that's just how I feel. But that could also just be me, you know, like kind of moving to a new place and feeling that, you know, feeling that isolation a little bit too. Could be, but
yeah, that makes sense.
But then again, that's how I'm receiving
Yeah.
it.
Is there like a competition in Kenya in that music world? Because there's definitely here. We all know that, but back home, did you see any of that?
I think in some respects, definitely. I think that Kenya's like music industry is definitely growing, where it's becoming more competitive in that sense. Like there's just like I think a whole new caliber that's like growing in Kenya with music. Like the scene really, I don't think was hitting many markets, but yeah, I think that's something that's definitely developing.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I see that. I also think that it's competitive, but in a little bit of a different way, whereas people are definitely trying to get to the top and not push people down to get to the top. Like that's a thing in the States more than anything.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Look, it's kind of
It's
like
true.
an ugly truth, but you want to be on top, so you're trying to step on someone else to get there. And thankfully, you all are young and have been doing this for a while, so you can see that. So you're not going to be shocked when you really do go out there and hit it. You'll have that strength and that inner knowing already when you start going out there, because there's only so many clubs, right? There's only so many, spots to be filled, but it doesn't have to be that way either. You can totally change your perspective and your idea of what success looks like and what it means,
Definitely. No, definitely. There's definitely enough for everybody.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's I feel like when it comes to the arts, there shouldn't be this level of like competition. It taints the art in many ways, right?
Yeah.
It takes away from it. I think we should leave that to sports.
You're right.
Exactly.
You're absolutely right.
That's what sports is all about.
That's what it's for. Yeah, get that out there. I want to go back to the music that you guys are going to be putting out over the next year, and so, when you're putting that together and getting it ready to go out, how do you decide what's going out next?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I think some of it has to be you got to read the market in a way, right? So you got to like put out maybe your strongest song, maybe your most radio tuned song, quote unquote. But then again, I also feel like it has to follow the theme of like what your project is like trying to tell. Like I think a lot of our projects have these themes throughout them, and especially the projects that we're releasing now were originally supposed to be EPs, right? So they have a lot of the same kind of like vibe lyrically, but also instrumentally between each other. But I think instead of like maybe doing that with the release of an EP, since they're now singles, we're going to try to do the same thing with how we release them. So like every song kind of follows the storyline of what the theme originally was in a way. And that's how we're kind of releasing them.
Are there videos accompanying them?
Yeah. So there's this Holding On is going to have a music video release maybe a couple of days after the release of the single. And that was shot by a brilliant crew in Nairobi, Kenya. It's Roadmen. They're amazing. They did an amazing job with that.
Right on.
Go ahead, Apple. You can say something.
I was gonna back up to again for a minute to what you guys said before. You both said one of the culture shocks is you miss the forest and nature all around you. Have either of you had a chance to be up here in the Pacific Northwest where we're at, like Portland, Washington area?
Yeah, I have. In the past, not recently. I got some family in Washington and in California. So
okay, because
this is no Nairobi. Dude.
No, but no, I mean, if you're like getting homesick for like the forest and nature, I mean, we've met and talked to a lot of people from all over, and they all agree. Like the Pacific Northwest, people fall in love with it, especially
no doubt
come from a nature environment, and it's a different
It's a different vibe.
type of people and vibe up here too, and
It's a little more
I
chill.
completely agree.
Yeah.
Like every time I've been there, it's unbelievable, the nature. Like my dad always says that's like his favorite part of the world, like nature speaking, because he I don't know. There's just something truly magical about the nature out there.
Yeah,
completely
yeah.
agree.
And also that we talked before too about we've been here 7 years, the music scene, like in Portland, the bands are all so supportive of each other. And I mean, that kind of bleeds over into the, jam band, improvisational music community, and they all, support each other. It's not a competition. And that's where you're going to see musicians from other bands joining bands. I just think when you guys get ready to do United States, there's a lot of bands that would love to like pick you guys up and tour with you and stuff.
For sure.
Absolutely. No, that would be a dream. 100%.
What you said about the community and seeing a lack of that here, I think obviously I've never lived in Nairobi, Kenya, but I would imagine that here in the States, the community exists. You just have to really search for it, and it's niche. You know what I mean?
It's not a given.
You have to work to find it. And when you do, it's dope. You know what I mean? Like the community of people that we have around us is amazing. And the music scene, like Apple said, is incredible. And those people are the best. But that wasn't on the surface when we moved here. We had to look for that.
We had to do like Gabe said. We had to crack that can a little. You got to crack that can, get wedged in, get a foot in the door, and keep it there, and then boom.
Gabe, I want to ask you, man, what's your vision for Lone Tree?
I would say I would think of it more as kind of a common vision we all have in many ways, where it's like where we keep true to our own art in many ways, and we continue to spread the same message. But we also kind of want to bring back a sense of good music, because we feel like there's a lack of it in many ways today, at least for what's popular, And I think that's the main key, just staying true to who we are as a band and getting that message out and bringing back good music,
Yeah.
What? Okay, I want you to dig in a little bit more about like the good music. I don't want you to call anybody out or anything like that, but what kind of music are you listening to on your own to kind of like feed you and kind of like pump you up and give you ideas and stuff like, or artists, bands, artists, songs, any of that?
I'll take a big one for example. Like if we look at Bob Marley, we can see that his music it sounds good, and it has a message to it.
Yes.
It spreads some kind of message that is not promoting something. Because I feel like at the end of the day, influence is a big part of music. And if you promote something that's bad, it'll affect your audience. If you promote something good, it'll affect your audience too. So I think the message is a really good thing. And just having a general sense of uniqueness too. If that makes sense. I don't know how to say it, but finding out who you are as a band, and I feel like we've been able to do that pretty well. It's a mission that keeps going, but I think, I can't say this is where we will be in 10 years or this is where we will be in 15 years. I think it's just us taking it step by step and saying, this is where we want to go with this thing. This is where we want to go with this next tour.
Yeah.
This is where we want to go with this next album, and then taking it like that.
So bite size instead of trying to take the whole pie at once. It's like, okay, we're headed in this direction. We don't know exactly where the location is, but we all agree. And what I think is awesome is you're so right about the message. There is it's not empty, but there is a lack of music without a good message. Sure, there's amazing beats. There's stuff that's cool, like maybe even like the how everyone looks in the band could be cool and everything. But what are you saying, and what are you bringing to the table? And is it something like you said? And the fact that you're concerned about your audience, that is also another level further than a lot of musicians take it, because a lot of times they're talking about what they're doing and what they're trying to figure out and the things that they want to accomplish, but they're not necessarily,
A lot of eyes.
yes, but
Yeah.
they're not necessarily talking about how I want to make my audience feel. I'm not saying it never happens. It's just very rare. And for you all coming from somewhere that's not the United States, but you're married to it, you know, still,
Yeah, it's a
you're,
part of you.
it's a part of you, to be able to bring another culture, like you said, Nairobi, and bringing this another culture into your music and into the States, that's powerful.
Well, to even have that idea.
Exactly.
Is a
Like,
big deal.
yeah, the whole thing, it's a very powerful and admirable goal, you know, because we just talked to somebody. We haven't released the episode yet, and he's a bunch of things, and he was a producer for a long time and a guitar player, and then finally now he just put out his album, and that's what we were interviewing him, and he was saying, you know, there's a great amount of jam bands, and they're good, really good, but it's not necessarily like
A spiritual experience.
spiritual or something that is it's fun, it's dancey, it's cool, it gets the party going, but when you want something with substance, that's a little bit harder to find.
Yeah, he was talking about like the
Definitely.
experience that he would have, like going and seeing a Grateful Dead show back in the day. And he was like, there's nothing really that he's experienced that's like that now, where you can have that, like, there's a deeper thing
I thought
happening.
you were talking about Jerry.
He was talking
Yeah.
about the Dead.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's I remember now from talking. What's up, everybody? If you're like me and you're trying to do better for yourself and what you eat in this new year, I have something really cool for you. Factor's delicious, ready-to-eat meals make eating better every day way easier. Wherever tomorrow takes you, be ready with pre-prepared, chef-crafted, and dietitian-approved meals delivered right to your door. You're going to have over 35 different options a week to choose from, including keto, calorie smart, vegan, and veggie, and more. And there's even more to enjoy with over 55 nutrition-packed add-ons that help make your weekly meal planning even more delicious. What are you waiting for? Sign up and save. They've done all the math. Factor is less expensive than takeout, and every meal is dietitian approved to be nutritious and delicious. So here's what you got to do. Head to factormeals.com/NoSimpleRoad50 and use the code NoSimpleRoad50 to get 50% off your first box and 2 free wellness shots per box while subscription is active. That's code NoSimpleRoad50 at factormeals.com. Take all the guesswork out of trying to do the right thing for your body. Fuel up easy and fast. Go check out Factor. See y'all last time, how blown away I was after we were done. I was like, wow, these cats really have their heads on straight for being young and like,
Wish we would have had somebody with your
Taking
guys'
over the
head when
world,
we were
man.
your age. Yeah.
Well, I
That
think
means a lot. Thank you.
Yeah, for real.
That's
You
so
know,
kind of you.
I think that the music industry is ready for your kind of vision. It's ready for your kind of music and your kind of vision, because it's few and far between, and it's not happening. And the fact that you all are in different locations and still young, it's not like you're in your 40s, you know, you're all young, still developing your life, but you still have a common goal. That's unique, you all. That's very unique. And whether you made a commitment to the music, your partners, you know, like the band, or both, that again, it's a powerful thing to do at such a young age with such gusto, you know, with such, like, it's not like, oh, I want to do this. Like, you're doing it and saying it, and then also working with people all over the world for videos and mixing and producing. Like, that's as serious as it gets, you know?
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
No, and thank you for like recognizing the work we've been putting in. I really appreciate that as well.
Well, we just love how you've kept in touch with us.
We pay attention.
Your dad or whoever it is, has been keeping in touch with us, and what you all have been just putting out. And for any band right now, whether they're like super, super popular, you put out a song and, you know, it's great for a few months and then it gets forgotten about. It happens to every artist, young, old, cool, not cool. It doesn't matter. So,
Very true.
Yeah, right? Like, there's a very few songs in this whole world that you can put on and still love it as much as you know, the first time. And so what you're doing is sprinkling these songs out that have a message, that are produced by somebody so incredible, and that you're still working, you know, you're still working to do that. That's, I mean, there's no question there. It's just like a really cool thing to continuously see, like especially from when we first talked to you till now, still having that full steam ahead, and you've only gotten better. Y'all have only gotten better. Just to know that.
Patrick, you had said earlier that, you know, when you introduced yourself, you named like 15 different things that you do. Out of all that stuff, do you have one thing that is like, you consider that the thing that you love the most?
Yeah, I think, I don't know, we put it in the terms of like songwriter, right? Like when we describe music, but I think that really is just kind of like, you know, like a fancy term for like the moment you feel that like spark of creativity in your mind, and that idea just comes out on your instrument or your voice or whatever way it comes out. I think, you know, that's truly what I'm in love with, I think, in music, like that moment of like creation and developing it into something, and, you know, producing that thing, or, performing that thing, playing it live, recording in the studio. Those are all just things around that moment of creation, right? I think. And I think so. I guess being a songwriter or being someone who does that is what I truly love.
You're in a great space for that. Nashville is like the cream of the crop for that. Is that one of the reasons why you chose Nashville?
I think it was a big reason, yeah, for sure, why I wanted to move out here. Yeah, Nashville is so full of like great songwriters and amazing musicians. It's got just a fantastic scene of like music. Yeah, so there's like a lot of opportunities for like, you know, not only selling songs of my own, but, you know, developing my artistry as a whole.
Wow. You had something?
Yeah.
Hi. Well, I was going to say what we're talking about. You guys say like with the popular music. I don't know if you guys heard. I just read something. Andre 3000 not too long ago was kind of talking about that, which I love Outkast, and he was kind of pointing towards rap, but all music in general. Like you know, it's become a popularity contest. Popularity fades quickly. You know, where is the true storytelling and art that used to go into rap and music and everything like that, and like what you're all doing. And we talked a lot, you know, there's a lot of bands out there that are doing that are looking at it as more of an artistry of making something that not necessarily wanting to be the most popular thing in the world, because that we've all seen it, that fades like that, unless you're Taylor Swift. But but what you guys are doing is kind of, you know, speaking towards that. And like Gabe, I was just curious, you kind of do your own solo thing with like some rap stuff.
I experiment. I do some experimenting. Nothing is out on any platform or anything, but you know, just getting into different avenues and exploring more about music is always something that helps. You know, is always something that's good to see, because it always feeds in and it helps you in your creative process to know something else, you know?
Yeah.
I know that when we moved to Portland 7 years ago, I revamped my closet. I revamped all my hobbies and everything that I liked. Going from Nairobi to Berkeley or to Nashville, what are some of the things that you've had to, you know, revamp about yourself or kind of adapt?
That's a good one. There's a lot. I mean, I think it's mainly just a culture. I don't want to get into it, but just two very different cultures and systems, and, you know, head to head, they're almost polar opposites in many ways. So You can see that with the laws and many other things. And you know, I think it's something that again is just eye opening. It's definitely eye opening, and it's very interesting to see how different sides of the world work.
Yeah.
You know, well done, man. Well, that answer, yeah, it was so good. No, I'm no bullshit. Like, that was so good. You said exactly what you needed to say without stepping on it. You know what I mean? Well done, man.
Yeah, I'm not trying to get anyone in trouble, but you know what I mean? Like, cause I just know that, especially for you two, like, okay, music is what you're both going to school for. Music, where in that part of the world where you came from versus where you're at, and like especially like Nashville is very specific too, more than like say Berkeley would be, you know, and so when you are immersed in a culture, you kind of have to like adapt. You gotta, you know, if you gotta buy a raincoat now because it rains more, or you gotta, you know, it's
definitely in Boston,
right?
Yeah, it wasn't snowing in Kenya, was it?
But yeah, so that's why I asked, because it just, you know, it really. I'm a whole different person than when I moved from Las Vegas, and I still am that person. I'm still in here, but there's so much that I've had to either give up or change or adapt to that it just really has.
You got a lot of hoodies now.
Yeah, I got a ton of hoodies. I had like one before, and now I've got like 12. You know. What about you, Patrick? What kind of things have you had to like, you know, adapt to, or, you know, change?
Yeah, so like I guess an obvious thing would be like the weather, for sure. Like there's seasons now I have to deal with, right, compared to like living on the equator where there was no seasons. So like now that shift between seasons really surprised me. For example, like one day it was just hot in Tennessee, and then it just got cold out of nowhere, and I was like, what's
happening?
Yeah. I was really confused for a sec, but
this doesn't happen at home.
And then I guess, you know, like living by myself now for like the first time, I got like a taste of it because I lived by myself during my gap year a bit, but like just being on my own now is, you know, very different thing. So just getting used to that.
Yeah. And that's more of a life thing too, you know,
Yeah,
like not necessarily because living on your own, you could be in Arkansas, you know what I mean? And you're on your own. So yeah.
Well, I gotta, this is more of a silly follow-up question. And I'm seriously, I'm curious about this. The moving to another continent, what, as far as food, what do you miss from home as far as food, and what do you love? Like when you came to the US, was there like a spot you needed to go hit right away? I'm just curious about the food differences.
Well, I definitely miss my Kenyan ugali and nyama choma, 100%. Gabe knows what I'm talking about, but
I definitely do.
But
explain it to us, man.
Yeah.
What is it?
That's what I wanted.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know, how do I explain ugali? It's like
a ball of flour and water mixed together.
yeah.
It's
like this starchy kind of like ball of like starch.
Okay.
But it's really good.
This sounds awesome.
Really good. Yeah, no, it's like a better mashed potatoes in many ways.
Okay.
Just not with mashed potatoes. And then nyama choma is kind of like steak, kind of like it's just like diced up steak, and it's really good though. And there's like a specific.
So that's like a straight up steak and potatoes meal, but Kenyan style. Got it.
I didn't miss it.
Yeah.
That was my go-to a lot of like after the studio a lot of times. So
okay.
No, what about food here? Like I'm just curious, like over in Kenya, like here there's like so many taco shops and stuff like that and everything. Like I just picture like that didn't exist over there, like a taco shop on every corner like we have.
Yeah,
no, definitely not. Like we didn't have all the like same like options we had like I guess in the US there's a lot more options when it comes to that. But I don't know. What's the main difference? Well, we got McDonald's in the US. We don't have that in Kenya. Even though I don't really go to McDonald's.
Which I was going to say, that's good or bad. Yeah.
I'll say
I was
one
just like
thing.
thinking about
I'll say
like,
one thing. I love my Kenyans so much, but when it comes to them like trying to make tacos or quesadillas or anything, it is not the move at all.
It's not happening.
No Americanized food.
No, dude, but you can't forget our boy Felix has a fire ass taco restaurant in Nairobi.
That is true.
Our friend Felix Escobar is half Mexican. He's got a shout out Felix. He's got a amazing.
So he's got like the bomb taco shop over there.
Yeah. He's got the one good one.
So do either of you have like while you're in school like friends that you play music with, like, you know, part of any kind of like local scene?
I don't know if we have any within school. I would say there were definitely some musicians in our school, but ISK was not really huge on music. I don't know what you think, Patrick.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, were you referring to like our high school or
No, I mean like now that you're in the States and like both in music schools,
Gotcha.
do you have like, you know, people that you play with? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Like I think there's a lot of people out here in Nashville who are like always down to jam, which is really cool.
Right.
And I got definitely a few like friends who I definitely jam often with. And they're like a lot of songwriters and stuff. So yeah, it's kind of cool being exposed to that scene over here. And also since, you know, we had been in Nashville a couple of times, I do know some local musicians that not only played with, but also just got to see play a few times. So yeah, it's cool to be connected in the scene out here. It's definitely dope vibes.
That's cool.
And what about you, Gabe? Do you have any people that you're playing with or any like, you know, kind of regulars or just friends that you're, you know, get together and jam?
Berkeley is a very musical school.
Yeah.
And every time you walk past any practice room whatsoever, great music being played. And honestly, you'll meet someone, talk to them, maybe have a little jam session, then go about your ways. And just like that, you know.
That's awesome.
It's very spontaneous in many ways.
Yeah.
Has it always been the drums for you?
I play a little bit of guitar and piano, but it started out on the drums, and I think that's where I'm most comfortable in for sure.
What was it about the drums for you?
So funny story, I think the only reason I really got into it is because my cousin was leaving Kenya, and this was maybe 2012 or so.
Mm-hmm.
He was leaving Kenya, and he also left this really beat up drum kit, right? This beat up electronic drum kit. And that's where I initially started playing. I just started hitting toms. It was disgusting sounds going on. I got the hang of it, and it became a hobby.
Okay. Wow.
Well, you better leave a thanks to that cousin in the liner notes on the album.
Yeah, he claims that I owe him till this day because it's all because of me.
So, guys, what about concerts? Have you hit up any concerts since you've been in the States?
Yeah. I went to Maneskin recently, or Moneskin. I think is better pronouncing it. Have you guys know that band?
Oh yeah. You know the song if you heard it. That hit song. Yeah, because they're from Italy, aren't they? I think they're Italian.
Exactly. Yeah. They won the Eurovision 2021, I believe. But yeah, no, I got lucky enough to see them with some friends. And then I've seen a bunch of like local bands out here.
I hear with them too. I hear they put on a crazy show, and the girl in the band gets like half undressed a lot of the time, and they're very Italian, European, risque with their act and stuff too.
No, definitely they have a lot of energy. I think some of that is a little sexually driven, but it's cool. It's definitely got its own thing going on, which I really respect them as musicians, and like their performance was like real rock and roll, which I really liked. Wow. And it was, very much themselves, but also, kind of keeping it modern, keeping it like trendy, and putting that edge to it, which was really awesome.
So how much, and I guess this is for both of you, how much of the performance is important to you? Like, you know, you want to play good music, you want to make sure that you're doing it right, but like the performance, how does that fit into what you guys, you know, what's important, or how off, like what you really do to drive it?
I would say like the performance is like, you know, it's hugely important, and I think that without a good performance, like you can't really connect to an audience in the most truest way, right?
Yeah.
Because though studio records are a beautiful art form, and they're it's not this, hearing a record is a totally different experience than seeing a band live.
Oh yeah.
So you want to be able to kind of translate whatever's in that record in the truest way possible live, but or you know, make it into a different thing and kind of experiment with different sounds, like bands like, you know, jam bands would typically do, by improvising, or you know, just jazz artists would do by improvising. And that's something we always have put into our shows, though we do like having like tight concise sets sometimes. You know, adding that level of experimentation is hugely important to us, and it always kind of has been, and that's also for our studio work, not just for our live performances. So yeah, it's always about bringing the energy and bringing some good ass songs, you know.
Oh yeah.
I've never had the privilege of going to see Bjork. Do you two know who Bjork is?
Yeah,
and
definitely.
So she has these incredible costumes, makeup, like orchestra. I mean, she goes literally all out, but it's a spectacle. It's a thing to be seen. If you could wave a magic wand and money was no object, you could perform anything or anywhere you wanted, what would that look like?
You want to go ahead, Gabe?
That's a good question.
And like they're both pondering on that.
Yeah, well, it's one to think about. Yeah,
anywhere on the moon.
Yeah, like
I don't know, I feel like a nice little a little mountaintop with a valley behind it, little sunset.
Wow.
I'm not really too into the costumes per se.
Okay.
I don't know if you are either, Patrick, but I think putting on a nice show with a nice view would be really, really cool, you know?
I'm there.
Yeah, man.
That definitely sounds like our vibe for sure.
Look at that. That's great.
I say
The vision of
Lone Tree at the Gorge.
That's what I was thinking, the Gorge. When you said that, I was thinking the Gorge for sure.
Have you seen that venue?
No, I've not, but it sounds awesome.
It's
in Washington.
And it's like high desert, and there's like nothing. It's in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, it's literally
like, I can't figure out how a music venue ended up in the middle of nowhere land. Like it's literally in the middle of nowhere. And the parking lot is a mile from the actual venue. So you camp in the parking lot, and then you have to walk about a mile to get to the venue. And inside the venue, you walk up a hill, and when you come over the lip of the hill, it's a valley. So the stage is at the end of this thing, and behind it is this valley with a river running through it.
It's the most gorgeous place.
So cool.
Awesome.
And I'm sorry, I gotta say goodbye. I gotta head to work. But they'll wrap up with you. It's so good to see you guys. Tell everybody else, love them. Can't wait to hear the new music when it comes out. Plus the live album you guys put out, amazing. It's good to hear that when it came out, and just keep doing what you're doing and keep your heads about you like you do, man. I love you guys.
Thanks so much, Apple. I really appreciate your support. Thank you for having us on.
Have a good day at work. Go.
Yeah, I'll see you about 8:00 tonight.
Go sell the cannabis, dude. Well, gents, is there anything about Lone Tree that you want people to know that you don't think they do?
Oh, that's a great question.
Great question.
Sorry for the hard questions.
Yeah, Gabe, if you have something, go ahead. I can just go after you.
Let me think. I would say that we're not people who really value, I guess, external things, when it comes to music. we're not too big on saying we must have a huge crowd. Although it's nice, we would rather, if we had the option of saying you could have 1,000 people who are not your fans or 100 people who are your fans, we'd pick. I think we'd pick 100 for sure. You know, because
Yeah.
I think loyalty to our fans is more big than anything, and you know, we just try and put out the best music we can. And I think that's important for our fans or anyone out there to know about us as a band, that, you know, we really do value the connection with our audience. And anyone new who comes is obviously welcome, but, you know, with our audience is where it's at, and we would like to keep it like that.
That's a beautiful answer.
It is.
Yeah.
We can relate to that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with everything Gabe said. I think that puts it pretty perfectly.
That did it.
I think the only thing I would add is that I think we're a band who has a message, I think, and that message is abstract, and it doesn't really, it can't be necessarily put into a sentence even. It's more of a feeling. And I think, I don't know, I think it's really just about, you know, we care about, you know, the music, and music is always like the most high. So we just want to keep that true.
Well, keep doing it.
Yeah,
you guys.
There's nothing.
It's dope to watch.
The only improvement is time. That's it. I feel like you all are on. You have the path laid out ahead of you, and you're walking on it, and you're picking up the litter on the way there too. Like, you're keeping it clean. You're being creative and inspirational, and, like, you know, for anybody of any age, that's a goal. But the fact that you're already on that path doing it, I'm really proud of you. I mean, like, so glad that our paths have crossed, and we'll always be cheering you on, like, from here until, you know,
until you play the gorge.
Yeah, until you play the gorge.
Okay. Where can people go to find more about Lone Tree?
Well, you can find us on all platforms, basically at Lone Tree Band.
Okay.
So that are on Instagram, X, TikTok, etc. And then also, I just want to, I don't think I mentioned this before, but this is probably important. So our single comes out November 17th. It's called Holding On, and you can pre-save it on all platforms. And you can find that pre-save link on all these social media platforms at Lone Tree Band. So
right on.
You said the 17th, right?
Yep.
Yeah, November 17th,
November 17th.
Holding On.
All right. Well, we'll be on the lookout. Well, have an awesome rest of your day, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us for a little while.
And shout out to Ben and Teresa. We couldn't have them on. We can't have everybody on, but we love them too. And tell them that we are rooting for y'all, and we love them. And thank you so much for spending some time with us.
They love you guys too, and they wish they could have been here. They just, you know, time's in a line.
I know.
Yeah, no, it's all good. Next time.
Next time.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Right on,
Right
y'all.
on.
We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much, guys.
Take it easy,
we
guys.
appreciate the love as always.
Yeah.
Yes.
Later, Gabe.
Bye.
Yeah.
Recording stopped.
It's astounding to me, the like heads on the shoulders.
This is the perfect example of the kind of conversation that makes me know that the world is going to be okay.
Aw, that's sweet.
It's the truth. Like, our kids, these young adults, and a lot of other people that we've met in the scene and around our travels, I see what they when you're in your 20s, you want to talk about like big booty hoes and getting high.
Well, it depends where you're from.
Exactly. And because of where they're from and how they've been
Big booty hoes.
but come on, man. When we lived in Vegas, and I worked in in the nightclub area in that scene, you know, like and I'm not saying that they don't do that, or I'm not alluding that they're perfect. What I'm saying is that they really they want to spread a good, positive message. And that's the undercurrent of their musical love.
Yeah. And it goes to show that like the lens that we're given to see the world through here is not 100% the way things are. The lens is much wider. There's a lot of different perspectives, and there's really good people out there.
Yeah.
And these, I don't want to call them kids, but
no, they're young adults.
They're young adults.
Yeah.
It makes me happy. That's all. I feel like the music scene is in good hands.
Not just the music scene, just like in general, life in general. I feel like these are the kind of people that are going to create something that's lasting and that is inspiring to generations to come.
I meant what I said about Gabe too, man. He answered that question. I heard everything that was between the lines without him having to say what, you know what I mean? That's a talent. That is a talent. And
they're at the beginning.
I didn't know how to do that.
No.
When I was 19, 20 years old.
They clearly have been raised right. They have seen some really incredible, impactful things, and they're just like really inspiring people. And I'm like I said,
stoked to have them on.
I'm rooting for them all the way.
And I want to try that dough ball mashed potato, not mashed potato, ugali thing that he was talking about. I'm down for that. Well, November 17th, the single comes out.
Mark your calendars. Pre-save it.
At Lone Tree Band on all the social media platforms.
Holding On.
Holding On is the new single, and we wish them all the success in the whole wide world. I hope you guys and young lady get everything that you want out of this life. You deserve it. You guys are dope.
Yeah.
We'll be back next week with more stuff and things. And until then, I'd appreciate it if you do me a solid and take care of each other. Smile at a stranger. Safety third. Hydrate.
And always lift up the young, because they're the ones that are going to inherit the earth.
And sometimes they can't walk, so you literally have to lift them up.
Well, I don't mean babies. I mean the young. Lift them up.
Okay.
Tell them that they're doing a good job. Encourage them. Give them an extra $5 to get their little recorder or their flute or whatever they want. Like, it's true.
You're funny. I love you.
It's just help out. You see somebody having a need or a desire that they can't fulfill themselves, and you can help them out.
Nunu has spoken. We'll see you next week. We love you all. Peace.
But it's a burden. Family needs has been deferred, and hella means been the earth, and alchemy can bring the birth, the melody of a newborn. So persistent, so resistant, so insistent, so commitment, so resilient, or haven't you learned it? No simple road. 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 My windshield is shattered as I focus through the spot in the corner that is still intact. The react is both a defense mechanism as well as a fear. We've traveled this road before, so we may think, but it's a tad bit of strange similarities that feed an A=A complex. The fears of your past do not equal the perplexities of the current road.
Ever wonder what a punch from Elton John feels like?
Or how you'd cope with having turned down the chance to be in Nirvana?
Or what signal Keith Richards gives when he wants you to get the hell out of his hotel room?
Fans of Too Much Effing Perspective don't have to wonder, because they've heard these exact stories and a jillion others on our podcast. I'm Alex Hoffman, former tour manager for Radiohead.
And I'm musician and comedy writer Alan Keller. On the TMEP show, we get guests like Nancy Wilson from Heart, Jeremiah Freites from the Lumineers, and Modern Family's Julie Bowen to tell us things they may have only shared with their therapists, clergy, or a TMZ stringer.
So join us on Too Much Effing Perspective. That's EFFING Perspective. The only podcast you crank up to 11.